Okay, what's going on over there?
Something fell down from the sky, and it was with light, and when it hit down, it was like a big impact, and we felt it. We felt like an energy. There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us.
Welcome back to Us Against Everything, where we quite literally cover everything, including conspiracy. Today, it is Landon and I, your hosts, here to talk about the Las Vegas alien incident of 2023. So with no further ado, please welcome Landon.
What's up, everybody? This is something I'm super excited to talk about because we all know how much I love talking about aliens.
He quite literally wants to be an alien. He wants to be E.T.
I literally am.
I also think that you would be a dinosaur too. Okay, if you had to choose between either one, who would you choose?
Alien.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's some commitment. Okay, so we clearly know that this is a topic that Landon is really attached to.
Exactly. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the strangest UFO cases in recent memories.
I know. I love it. It's only been like 3 years.
Now, the biggest question overall that we will be answering is, did a family in Las Vegas really see a non-human being?
What's a non-human being? Let's just call it what it is. An alien. Extraterrestrial.
Back in 2023, a family in Las Vegas called 911 claiming that after seeing an object fall from the sky, they encountered what they described as large non-human beings in their backyard.
I mean, wait, let's just talk about this for a second. We're sitting in a backyard, probably chilling, and then all of a sudden we're calling 911 because we see an object fall from the sky. Then they encounter what they described as a large non-human being in their backyard.
First mistake, calling 911.
I agree. The 911 side of things, it's overrated.
Do not call them. Try to talk to them yourselves or go inside and close the door.
I mean, okay, of course, something happens to your leg, you're gonna want to call them. But I'm just saying, like, if you just see them, they're not doing anything, they're not harming anyone. 911, not a chance. I'm pulling out my phone and recording that shit.
Exactly. I agree. Me too. Maybe not recording, but I'm going to be talking to them. Now, if you've spent any time online, you've probably heard people arguing about this case. Some people think it's one of the best UFO cases in years. Others think it's nothing more than a misunderstanding that got blown way out of proportion.
We have been saying this same song and dance about E.T. E.T. is out there, guys. It is not a coincidence. This is happening. 2023, like Landon said, bigger situations that happen. I believe it's only going to get crazier from here.
The more we looked into it, the more questions we had, because this wasn't just somebody posting a blurry light on TikTok in the sky.
As always,
there was an actual 911 call. There were actual police officers who responded. There was body cam footage showing an object falling from the sky, and there was a family that seemed genuinely terrified by whatever they believed they had encountered. So let's start at the beginning and work our way through what actually happened that night. Because whether you believe in aliens, UFOs, extraterrestrial beings, or absolutely none at all, this case is weird.
It's weird, I tell you. The object in the sky. Now, the story officially begins 2023 at approximately 11:50 p.m. A bright green object streaked across the sky over Nevada. And I mean, that's hard to imagine because there's always lights and helicopters and it's always flashy there. So when you see something out of the ordinary, it's going to catch your attention.
Especially in the desert, because only Las Vegas is the only part of Nevada that actually has any sort of lights. The rest, you're desert.
Literal tumbleweed desert. It is boring. I have been there. It's not fun.
Now, the important thing here to remember is that no one is debating whether something was seen. Something absolutely crossed the sky that night. Multiple residents reported it.
I mean, if you're getting just one story, I can understand why people don't believe it. But if you're getting multiple stories, come on.
Security cameras captured it. Police body cams captured it. People across Nevada and neighboring states reported seeing the same exact object.
Neighboring states, like that's That says something, like we're seeing it in multiple states. Like states are not small, like they're big.
They're fucking huge. And so if multiple states are seeing this, then it has to be true.
A true story.
Official explanation is that it was likely a meteor or fireball entering Earth's atmosphere. Of course, that's what they're going to tell us, because they're like, no, these people will lose their minds if we tell them the truth.
Let's just tell them that something's crash landing on Earth. Get fucked.
They think people wouldn't freak out over some sort of giant flaming rock that is hitting us more than aliens. I don't know. I feel like both are a little crazy, but I would rather an alien encounter than a giant flaming meteor hitting us.
I mean, I'd rather an alien encounter over this current administration.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely agree to that. This is where the timing starts getting weird.
Very weird, because less than an hour later, a family in Las Vegas would make one of the most infamous, famous 911 calls in UFO history, and we'll play it right now for you.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Okay, lady. Me, my dad, and my brother, we're working on a truck in our backyard, and we have a big lot outside, right? Correct?
Okay.
We were working, and we just see in a corner of our eye something fall down from the sky, and it was with light. And when it hit down, it was like a big impact, and we felt it. We felt like an energy, and then we hear like a lot of footsteps near us, and then we have a big equipment, and we see, and there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and it's looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually we're terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Now, Nevada is not exactly a random place when it comes to UFO reports. I mean, we got Area 51.
Best place on the earth.
Right? So many hidden secrets there. We have Nellis Air Force Base, which is convenient. We have decades of military testing, aka UFO sightings. We have countless reports from pilots, military personnel, civilians describing unusual things in the sky. And I'm not saying every UFO report is real. I mean, I think most of them are. What I am saying is that I believe that this is real. I believe that they were there, honestly. UFOs enjoy hot desert-like temperatures, so it does not surprise me to capture them in the most deserty place in the USA, close to fucking Arizona. Arizona was bad enough, but Las Vegas is even crazier.
There are so many mountains and places for them to hide and go also in Vegas. And all the military testing, there's got to be radiation over there, which apparently aliens really enjoy radiation. So
oh, they do. They really do. AKA Skinwalker Ranch.
Right. They're probably enjoying that. I believe that they enjoy Vegas.
Now, radiation is like kryptonite for us. But for them, I think it's something powerful that makes them stronger. But there is a kryptonite for them that makes us strong, which is kind of...
That's why we need every piece of the puzzle.
And I don't even know why, but honestly, it feels like there's some sort of connection to milk products. Because it makes sense, though, if you think about it, because they often take cows and animals. What do animals produce? Milk.
And they even take humans, because humans also produce milk.
Right, exactly. Breeding things. But milk is like significant as well. We'll figure that out one day.
Now, a lot of people are questioning if a giant glowing object flew over your neighborhood and then 40 minutes later your neighbor calls 911 claiming aliens were in their backyard, you would probably at least raise an eyebrow. 911 call was crazy.
I would be doing way more than raising an eyebrow. I would be on that shit.
Right. I can only imagine, though, like, we love aliens and we love that kind of stuff. So if we got that call, we would hightail it right over there if we were in this area. But I can only imagine what this 911 dispatcher was thinking during this call. Like, clearly they remain calm.
I mean, they hear so much crap, like kittens being thrown out of a truck on a highway, or somebody being stabbed in a foot, or a man play fighting with his niece and then got triggered, so he starts stabbing her. They hear shit all the time, but UFO calls, I can only imagine how wild they are.
I imagine a lot of people get very high and then claim something. Like they see something and they're like, oh my God, that's an alien. And then they call in right away.
I don't disagree with that whatsoever.
But this specific phone call, there's just something about this specific phone call, which is there's so many details and the person is giving a lot of information.
Absolutely. And as we've heard in the call, like the caller does tell dispatch that he, his father, and other family members had been outside when they noticed something falling from the sky. And they observed that they described as large beings near their property. And not little green men, might I add. Not tiny gray aliens, like large beings. At one point, the caller estimates them to be somewhere between 8 to 10 feet tall.
Imagine something 8 to 10 feet tall looking up at something like that, and it's like this grayish big being looking at you.
Right, and it's walking towards you. I'd be like, hi, please don't hurt me.
I would definitely be like, hey, I come in peace. Hey, I'm here. I'm cool.
You know, that's like an NBA player standing on another NBA player's shoulders, honestly.
It would be like an NBA player and maybe like a half or a quarter. But there is a couple NBA players that are about 8 feet tall.
That's honestly giving I suddenly don't own this backyard anymore territory. Now, caller does repeatedly insist that he's seeing something that's not human. He described large an unusual appearance, and perhaps the most important detail of all, not like somebody trying to become famous, but he actually sounded terrified. Now, of course, fear doesn't automatically make something correct or somebody correct. People can become frightened by things they misunderstand. People can panic, but honestly, you can just feel it from this person's voice. Like, this was unbelievable, and he's trying to make out whatever the fuck he's seeing in front of him whilst describing it perfectly to somebody on the phone, which also makes me want to point out as well, he sounds like he's completely lucid. Like there's no sleepiness, there's no drunkenness, there's no slurring of words. He is coherent.
Right. So that also makes it a little bit more real. And this guy is sitting here, of course, terrified, because what do you say when you're not interested in aliens and you're not excited about them and you might be a little scared or you might be skeptical, then all of a sudden you have an alien just sitting in your backyard and you're like, are they going to blow me to pieces? What's going to happen? Are they going to kidnap me? Like, what's gonna happen here?
Right.
This guy clearly thought the cops would help him.
Clearly not at all helping him. They're just as confused as he is. If this was, in fact, a misunderstanding, what exactly are they misunderstanding here? Oh, I'm sorry. I mistaken this alien walking towards me, but in reality, it's just a tree swaying.
I mean, I want to see proof that it was a tree.
Exactly.
Because this person, like you said, sounded completely coherent, not drunk, not intoxicated, not under the influence of some sort of drugs. So if it really was a tree, I want proof that it was actually a tree. And how, which is the other thing, did all these other neighboring states see this same thing?
Exactly. And like people are saying, oh, what if it's a prank? I mean, okay, sure.
Again, other neighboring states are not tiny.
Right. Wouldn't you, if you were going to pull this great internet fame, elaborate scheme to screw everyone over, you would say things like, spaceship landed, they spoke to me, create some crazy elaborate story. Instead, what we got was a family struggling to explain what they think they saw.
Also, if they were trying to get fame and make up some kind of story, wouldn't they have like went on TikTok and did this like elaborate thing of throwing some sort of light in the sky and then people dressed as aliens and put some smoke bombs out and they're like, ooh, and then coming out of a spaceship, like something, you know, they would be doing more than what this person did because their initial thing was, holy shit, we need to call the cops.
Right.
Not, let me get my phone and live stream it.
Exactly. It wasn't some CGI bullshit either. Like, this is like real life shit coming towards you. And another thing, the caller didn't even just seem afraid. He also seemed confused. Like he was trying to process what he was looking at while describing it. And the detail pops up in UF reports all over the world. Witnesses often describe feeling overwhelmed, confused, unable to make full understanding of what they're seeing.
Some researchers believe that because people are encountering something genuinely unusual, others believe it's because the brain struggles to make sense of unexpected events. Either way, it shows up again and again in all UFO reports. I can say that I think that when they come in, like when they crash, because I feel like their ships give off a lot of radiation and a lot of like other things that our bodies aren't used to. Maybe that's where the confusion and missing time, missing pieces, feeling overwhelmed. Also, maybe we're feeling overwhelmed because they don't talk to us, from what I gather, kind of like how we're talking right now. They use more telekinesis and talk through the mind versus speaking out loud. So maybe people get overwhelmed because the aliens are trying to like infiltrate their mind.
And I've been really trying to research this because I completely agree. I feel like they're using our kryptonite against us, which could in fact be some sort of connection to radiation. I feel like they can control it very easily. They can make it significant or they can take it away, which is why we have some weird radiation related things happening in the world. But honestly, I think that's what puts us in that very confused, submissive state, because you just don't know and can't really react on multiple levels.
Exactly. Now, the biggest question that no one seems to be able to answer is, why even call 911 at all? No, seriously. Put yourself in this situation. Most people who see something weird do not call the police. They film it. They look at their neighbor or whoever is standing there like, are you fucking seeing this? And they're too busy to do anything, let alone call the police.
Right. That would be my first reaction. Like, babe, you saw that, right? Like, we're
seeing the same
together.
thing, right?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I would then be pulling, you might be trying to go talk to some aliens. I'll be pulling out my phone to see if it shows up on a camera. I also would be going, Josh, look outside. Look outside, Josh. Look outside, Josh. I'd be losing it.
Exactly. Now, the only explanation for this family is by them calling 911. It means that they genuinely believe something was happening right then and there, and it was something serious enough to involve law enforcement.
I mean, yeah, that is a big deal, but I just feel like that's just the way the world is kind of built, specifically the USA. Like, oh, something strange is coming. What do? We don't call Ghostbusters, we call 911.
Yeah, because they're fear-mongering us into believing we would have to call them.
Right.
Now, whether they saw aliens or not, they clearly believe that they were witnessing something that they didn't believe should exist, which is just crazy, because why do we as society think we're the only things in all of the Earth and galaxy is beyond me? But that is where the case takes the next strangest turn.
Yes, the police. We finally got some body cam audio. So if this case had ended with the 911 call, I don't think we'd still be talking about it today. But the reason this story exploded is because police actually responded. The first thing that caught people's attention was the responding officers were already aware of the object that had crossed in the sky earlier. Shocker. Now think about how strange that is. You're a police officer working your normal shift in crazy Vegas, and you see bright objects streaking across the sky. Then shortly afterwards, you're dispatched to calls involving alleged non-human beings in someone's backyard. That's not exactly something they cover in the police academy.
No, they definitely do not. Now, what fascinates us is that the officers don't seem dismissive.
Yay!
They don't show up acting like they're responding to some sort of prank. They don't immediately start laughing. In fact, one of the officers openly admits feeling nervous. And honestly, I don't blame him. You're walking into an unknown situation.
Absolutely. And what if you come face to face with this non-human? I don't know what's going to happen. How do you defend yourself to a non-human? Can a pew-pew even work?
Right. Would it even hurt them? Now the officers search the property. They speak with the family. They look around the backyard. And officially, nothing was found. No alien, no spacecraft, no physical evidence providing non-human beings had even been there.
I don't know, mate.
Now, case closed. At least that's how you think it should have ended. Except it didn't. People immediately started asking questions. Lots of questions. Some of those questions still haven't gone away. For example, if nothing happened, why did the officers seem so interested?
I know. This situation, I believe, was radioed out to many officers because there were many calls. And they like to keep this call hush-hush. Even on the radio, I think that the code, they use another code that isn't necessarily something they would often use, kind of correlation to military energy, but all eyes on deck anytime anything UFO or alien related happens.
Next is, why did they take the report seriously enough to investigate? Well, again, I think it's like the same thing you just said. They want to keep it hush hush. They don't want too many people getting wind of this. So they need to investigate it very quickly to get it pretty much closed up and come up with some sort of story.
Right. They have to figure out what's going on here as well, because it could be escapees from Area 51. It can be trying to get their homies out of Area 51. They could even be trying to abduct human beings to take because they have their people in Area 51, or so many more possibilities. But it's all of those options are very possible. And being Vegas, the place where we're basically hybriding all of these non-humans, as we're calling them now, I really think that the activity that happens there is because they are trying to figure out the best method to get their family.
I agree. Now, I feel like this is where conspiracy theorists immediately grabbed right onto all those details and they went down the rabbit hole. Now, one theory suggests officers saw more than what was released publicly. I believe that.
Absolutely.
Wholeheartedly, 1,000,000,000%.
It's very hush-hush, always will be. They feel like the human race could not handle the truth.
Right, they cannot handle the truth. Another theory suggests additional footage exists that was never shown. I also agree to that as well.
Yes, I believe that although one was making the phone call to 911, there were multiple family members and I would say some neighborhood energy that was catching that shit on TV, aka recording on our phone. Now, what I do want to say, though, is that I believe the police informed these people that if this footage got out there, they would be in violation of whatever.
Top secret military stuff. They probably took their phones, wiped their phones, and made them sign NDAs.
Yes, property of the USA. Here's a nice check to keep your mouth shut.
Basically. And some people believe federal agencies became involved very quickly afterwards. I also agree to that. Like I said, I feel like Area 51, the military people that are assigned to these types of things, immediately came in and was like I said, made them sign NDAs, took their phones, wiped them, told them you're not allowed to talk about it anymore.
Oh, yeah. I don't disagree whatsoever. The other thing that we're not talking about, and the family really isn't talking about either because, again, classified, but I feel like they're being visited by these non-humans. And I feel like these non-humans are like one of the stronger extraterrestrials out there.
They're probably watching them. They probably put something there, left something behind.
Definitely. And there is a reason that family got chosen. But I don't necessarily feel like the military or the government knows what the hell actually is going on. But I feel like they keep spying on this family, like following them to see if anything genuinely happens. And although things have happened, they're now keeping it hush-hush.
That's fucking wild.
It is so crazy. Honestly, guys, we're going to notice a hell of a lot more like this. In fact, I feel like there's going to be an incident in 2026. Could possibly be Miami, could possibly be Arizona, California, Vegas, maybe a little Georgia, and some Hawaii, and of course other places as well. But those are the hot spots in the USA.
We need to go to some of them someday so that we can encounter an alien.
Right, and I'm not saying that UFOs don't show up in every state, because they do. That's just their preferred breeding ground.
Why do you think they were here for this specific family? What do you think their intentions were with them?
So what I believe is that they chose them at random. They will scan. They'll go to an area. They'll use their little scanners. And if the Brown family from Sister Wives was still in Vegas, they would not have been chosen. But what I can say is that they chose the family to trust. I believe that they were trying to offer them a deal, an option, a service. You can make deals with non-humans, but I feel like they were trying to make deals with them. Could it be, hey, help us get our buddies out? Yeah. Could it be, hey, we need a place to hide our top secret shit? Can we hide it here in the ground in this said area where the forklift was? Many a different options, but I really feel like they were asking for the family's help.
That's cool. That's cool. I wish I could have been the one chosen to help them.
If we were in Vegas, maybe it would have happened, but neither one of us would have survived because both of us are asthmatic and cannot handle that dust, that fucking dust.
Yeah, no, we would both be dead on the ground. Let's talk about the circle in the backyard, the alleged landing site, and one of the most overlooked details in the entire case. The circle in the dirt, the landing site, or a coincidence.
The circle in the dirt is like a signal to their homeland, like we've made it. I feel like that also comes connected to crop circles as well, sending codes to other like planets.
Yeah, I agree. Like their codes or coordinates of where certain things are for them to come back to later.
Right, exactly.
Now, one of the details that often gets overshadowed by the aliens, the 911 call, and the infamous forklift is the circle that reportedly was found in the backyard. Honestly, if this circle had appeared in almost any other UFO case, it probably would have been the main focus. Photos taken after the incident appeared to show a circular impression in the dirt. Almost immediately, people began asking questions. Was it already there? Did it appear that night? Could it have been caused by the machinery? Could it have been caused by something falling from the sky? Or was it simply an ordinary feature of the yard that suddenly became important after the family reported the experience?
Yeah, I believe in that moment. So when it comes to extraterrestrials, they can also like freeze time, pause time. So I feel like they were able to kind of pause the time enough to let these people know that they were not there to hurt or harm them, explain the plan, come up with an exit strategy, which all happened within like a 15-minute span. And that's when the police officers came about.
I definitely agree. I believe it was definitely them. It wasn't something that was in the yard. It wasn't from the machinery. It wasn't from anything else. I think that their craft, like you said, they were leaving some sort of symbol to let other aliens know, like, hey, we made it. We're here. This is the coordinates of where we are.
We got here first.
Right.
And honestly, it seems like that too. Like, this particular species, retrieval energy to the highest degree, but this particular species is not a species that spends any time here unless maybe they had some sort of mission. But I feel like we have a few of these locked up in Area 51, which I don't know why we do that. We got to stop capturing things for our convenience. Like, we aren't fucking Joe Exotic, Tiger King, capturing fucking tigers. Like, they are beings. Non-humans or not, they're still beings and they do not belong here. So let them go.
Right. They need to go back to their families, their homes, their galaxies, their planets that they come from.
Absolutely. Now, before we end this episode, Landon and I actually came across two other things that we found a little later, and we wanted to bring it up. So we're going to be talking about Angel Kenmore. Now, that's the man who did call the 911. And again, we've already talked about the 911 call. We're going to share an audio of Angel sharing his experience online. And here it is.
Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my first video. I'm here to tell you what happened to me on May 1st, 2023. I'm trying to explain the best of my abilities. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm not making this story out for clout or fame. I just want to tell you what happened to me and my family. And I know some people are not gonna believe this, but each person is different. So this is what happened to me. Keep in mind, this is midnight and I'm fixing a truck in my backyard. At this point, I'm only with my brother and I hear something fall from the sky. I turn around. The only thing I see is a big light falling from the sky, and moments after, I feel a big impact and a bang, sort of like a big impact fall. And me and my brother looked at each other and we were scared, but the impact happened. It was sort of like a shock wave, like an out-of-body experience. So to say, when I tried to look at the object, it was all blurry, not my vision, but only the backyard area. And I hear thousands of footsteps around me, and maybe a couple seconds later, the blurriness was gone. And here's the footage of the body, the police officer's body cam, and here's the object I'm referring to, the light. Here's a Ring camera video. You could hear the bang. This is around the neighborhood. So here's the video. So when that happened, the only thing I can see in the backyard is a tall creature, probably around 8-10 feet tall, very thin. So I called my dad. He went to the backyard and he saw the same thing, the same creature I saw. He told me to go inside the house. At this point, we all freaking out, me and my family. And here's the video where we were in the backyard area. You cannot see it too good but on camera, but it's there. Here's the video. Moments after the video, me and my brother went to go pick up my tools. Then my brother calls me and he told me shakingly, look behind the forklift. So I look, keep in mind I'm facing the forklift, and then I see the alien creature. So when I saw it, it was a tall, skinny, lengthy creature. He was a gray greenish color, and when I looked at it in the eyes, my body just froze, like the same experience as having sleep paralysis. Keep in mind I'm staring at him and I look at his whole body, and he has a weird looking feet and a big face and eyes, and you can see a big mouth, and I could hear his loud, deep breathing, and I could see his stomach moving. He would just stare at me. Seconds later, I can start moving again. And I start running towards the house. That's when I call 911. I'm waiting for the police to come, and you could hear footsteps in the backyard area and a loud whispering, like you could hear whispering. We were in the living room area, and you could hear footsteps on the roof. So we waited a little bit for the police. When they arrived, they told me I told them what I saw, and they were kind of freaked out. Here's the body cam of the officer.
Now, it's more than an hour after that bright light. Officers meeting up with the caller and his family.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard, or?
They see like a big, that's what they say. They see like a big something with light.
What I saw right now, I do believe in it.
Police walk into the backyard to investigate, but Metro...
So they went in the backyard, and one of the officers pointed at the floor, and it was a perfect circle.
Now let's talk about this video, shall we?
So Angel takes us back through the story again that we heard, the crash, the boom, and all that. And then he plays a couple of clips in the video where you can see basically really nothing. He's like, oh, you can see in the backyard.
Yeah, I couldn't see anything in that video either with my eyes.
Right. There was nothing because it was very dark outside, and also
quick movement.
Quick movement, and also whoever had the camera was kind of pointing it down towards everybody's legs and not like holding it up towards like that little area where you could see behind the fence.
Exactly.
So you could not see the aliens or their spaceship or anything like that. But what he described was very interesting. So obviously he describes again the aliens going up towards them, walking towards them. They're tall.
Describing their color, gray, green.
Right. Describing their gray, greenish colors, big feet, big head, big eyes, all that. Now, we have talked about some aliens in the past, and we have talked about different species of aliens because there is more than one. And the tall grays, as we have talked about, are very aggressive.
E.T. phone home.
Not even E.T. because E.T. was brown, not even gray. E.T. was nice. These ones are not. E.T. was small. These ones are tall.
I don't feel like it's the tall grays. I feel like it's the tall grays' cousin, like somebody else, some other species. These ones, just like tall grays, spend a lot of their time using their brain to advance knowledge, not necessarily exploring. So I'd say that these are their like exploratory cousins that they send the data to the tall grays.
I feel like it could have been the tall grays because of what is going on in the U.S. right now.
True.
We have the tall grays, as we know, are very interested in experiments, but they also are very vastly interested in religion and war. And those two things are being heavily pushed in the United States.
Well, we'll talk about the religion side of things once we get to the next and final video, but I do want to point something else out. Angel had been recording this video, and when he decided to record the video, a lot of people had suggested that because he kept scrolling on his phone to look at what he wrote down, he was faking it all. But honestly, I think he would have like cut all that out if he was trying to hide that fact. He did not.
I think he had to collect his thoughts, and he had like a phone of some sort on the other side, like you said, and he was writing down the events from that night, so he did not mistake anything, mess anything up or anything, because he said genuinely, I want to give you the facts from that night and the details that I have remembered from that night.
Right. And And that's what I agree with you on. I also feel like he would have continued to keep making more and more videos, but because he got so much backlash, he stopped. He just does not look like he's somebody trying to follow clout. He seems nervous. Like when I first started recording videos, audio, I was hella nervous to say all of what I said. So this is his first time ever.
He's definitely not a clout chaser or somebody who is trying to get any sort of fame off of this, because even in that first video, he says, I'll be back for a part 2, and he never made a part 2.
Yeah, I mean, if he did make a part 2, I couldn't find it. If anyone found the part 2, let me know. Send a link in the comments. I'd love to watch it, but I could not find it.
Right, we searched for it. We didn't see it, so we're just honestly assuming he didn't make a part 2 because of the backlash. And he even states in the last video that we watched when he was talking to that news reporter who did that little story with him about the things we're going to talk about here in a second, he says, I'm not trying to get clout. If I was, I would be constantly on YouTube, on TikTok, and all these places trying to, amp this up. And he's like, and I'm not, which he isn't, because he has very little videos about it.
Right.
He just wants to talk about his experience. And
exactly.
He talks about him being traumatized by that.
Right. I do want to point out 2 other things from this video here is the circle.
Yes.
The circle, I believe, and you believe, is a code, like an SOS signal, to let whoever's in the air know that they've landed and they have approached the subject. Whatever it is. They do different symbols for different things, but that's what I feel.
Right. We're unsure because obviously we are not knowledgeable in alien coding.
Exactly.
So we don't exactly know what they sent off, but circles, as we know, crop circles, different things like that, all are in relation to either coordinates or, like Liz said, we've landed, we're here, or this is the spot for whatever they're doing.
Right. And they had mentioned 2 non-human that were walking around. I believe there were many more, probably a few in the spaceship. We don't talk about the spaceship at all, but I believe that spaceship was maybe behind all of that.
Right. They said that the spaceship, so in the backyard, specifically, as you could see over the fence, you can see the trailer that they're talking about, which is an RV. That's what they're talking about. The spaceship was behind that. So that was taking up most of the camera view, so we couldn't even see it because behind there it was completely dark. And you're right. There could have been more in there who didn't come out, and they only allowed 2 of them to come out, like 2 of the big ones or whatever, like the captain and somebody else, to talk. Now, he also describes in this specific video the crash landing, how his backyard was blurry, but his eyes were not blurry. Mm-hmm. He just could not see the backyard. It was blurred out.
Right, which is from the radiation that seeps off of their skin.
Right, and the spaceship, because they have to use high levels of radiation and high levels of all the stuff they're using to beam in and out. Mm-hmm. Now, in this video, you also hear he plays a Ring camera footage from the neighbor.
Yes.
And you can hear in there, you cannot see the crash landing because unfortunately the camera is facing
downward.
Their driveway and downwards, but you can hear in the background, it's like a
sonic boom. Yeah.
So you can hear it falling out of the sky. That is major force.
Oh,
and like he says in there, it was like a big force field when it fell. And he was able to then regain to see after the few minutes of the blurriness, and then appeared the tall gray aliens. And then he mentions, again, which we've talked about before, paralysis.
Right.
He was not able to move. He was not able to do anything.
He wanted to, but he couldn't.
Right. He couldn't. He was just stuck there staring at them. And then after a few moments, they released him because they were reading him. And they wanted to see what he was going to do. And is he a good person? Is he a bad person?
Right.
They ended up letting him go. He ran into the house, and that's when he made the 911 call.
Right. And then the other piece of it is that 911 call. That one officer was treating it more like a joke than anything else.
He even says in this video, the first thing he says is, the only reason I'm even investigating this is because my partner also saw something fall out of the sky. So multiple civilians seeing something fall out of the sky. Fuck
Not
you.
good
I don't
enough.
believe you.
Not good enough in any way.
But his partner seeing it, it must be true.
Right. And
then he circles back, that officer, to say, well, if they come back, don't call us.
right, exactly. I mean, it was meant to be as a joke. I understand what he was trying to do, but he, in my opinion, took it too jokey the whole time. Instead of joking, he could have done some investigating. Maybe things could have been left behind. He could have seen things, but he was just so like, well, fuck. I'm really creeped out, you know, like, but anyway.
But how do you think that this family feels? How do you think that Angel and his brother and his whole family feels? Like, Angel was just working on his truck, like he said. And
with
then
his brother, and he lives in his home with his mom and his dad.
Right, and then something falls out of the sky, and then these beings come near him, and he's terrified because he's not into that kind of stuff, and he doesn't really understand any of that. And then you got this cop who's like joking about it, not taking it seriously, making him feel less than. Like, you're supposed to protect and serve.
Right.
And regardless if you don't agree with it, this person is genuinely telling you they are scared, they are terrified, they don't know what are they supposed to do if they come back. Like, what do we do? Like,
exactly. No.
And you're just like, don't call us.
See you later. Have a nice life. Like, so to me, again, that gets radioed in. And then the military comes in and does their own side of it as well, which I don't think that they put that out there. They're not allowed to put that out there.
No, they definitely have like NDAs. They're not allowed to disclose that. I'm sure that, you know, since it was also in Las Vegas, I'm sure a few people from the CIA and the military made their way over to their house, tried to find any sort of evidence, tested for radiation, all those things, seeing if they left anything
and
behind.
he was calling it like a UFO, an alien. Like, he was referencing those terms in his video. Now let's talk about this next video, which is a small interview with a local news reporter. And he decides to talk to Angel himself, and then the story just flips on its head.
Right, now this was a year later.
So let's take a listen.
You mentioned paranormal activity. What exactly did you see?
Well, I was in another room. My brother called me, and there was a upside down cross, and there was a Jesus statue in it. They ripped Jesus out of it. They threw him like across the room, and it was floating upside down.
Are you saying floating in the air?
Yeah, like in the air. It was floating upside down.
What did you do? I mean, did you go and pick it up? Did you knock it down? Like, how?
No, I didn't do nothing. I was just sitting there. I was crazy. I was like, what?
But how did it come down? It's not still floating right now, is it?
No, it came down. So we got closer to it and then just dropped.
Fell to the ground. A crucifix floating in the air, upside down. The Jesus on the crucifix had been ripped off, and it was floating. And you can say definitively, without lies, that that is what you saw.
Yes, very good. That's what I saw.
Okay, and what about the Bible? What did you tell me about the Bible?
Oh yeah, the Bible. So I was chilling normal. There was just a Bible just going like this, flipping the pages. But it was like steady. Like it wasn't because of the air. It was steady. Like somebody was holding it. As soon as I got close to it, it dropped again. It just dropped again.
It's inside your house, not outdoors.
No, it's inside. Yeah.
No wind factor. Pages steadily turning on a Bible.
Yeah.
And you have the same justification for that as well? Demonic presence?
Yeah, I guess demonic presence. Yeah. So you know, we had a couple priests come over to the house, pray over the house, and everything seems to be normal again.
Are you connecting all these things together? Everything you saw in your backyard to the things you've experienced over these past few months?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, I think so.
What did the priests say when they actually came to your house?
They were saying that it might be fallen angels, like demons or fallen angels, something like that.
Fallen angels inside your home.
Yeah, that was pretty creepy.
How does it make you feel about living here still?
Right now I feel good, you know, whatever happened on last year, May, pretty scary, man. I was pretty traumatized and stuff like that. Pretty bad, man. You can't sleep, you know. Not to sound like a crybaby, but, you know, you cry most of the time when you think about it. You get flashbacks, you know. Not a good experience.
What do you say to the people who believe that your family just made this whole thing up to try to get attention?
They can believe whatever they want, you know. I'm not doing it for fame. If I did it for fame, I would be on YouTube and stuff like that, doing more videos, but I don't care, guys. I just went on TikTok and YouTube, made my story.
Other people here in this neighborhood have also filled in some of the gaps and some of the things that they found freaky about that night that those two unidentified beings were seen by the Kenmore family in their backyard. For example, a guy who lives just right down the street just saw us out here on the side of the road and began talking to us, and he remembered that night as well. He said that for some bizarre reason, his TV all of a sudden stopped working at that time, that his surveillance cameras no longer were working, his lights were shutting off. So put all of this together, the Kenmore sighting, what the neighbors are reporting, not to mention what those Las Vegas police officers saw on those body-worn cameras cameras, that flash of light streak across the sky 39 minutes before that 911 call. It really is an unexplainable phenomenon happening here in Las Vegas.
Oh my God, guys. So this last small video freaked me right out. Not for any other reason, but it doesn't make sense to me. Angel did say in the last video that he was going to share part 2. We can't find that part 2, as we said. And then we jump into the after effects. And what he talks about in this audio is like the crucifix being upside down and the Jesus being ripped off of it, and then the Bible flipping pages.
But he mentioned something very important where he says that the Bible, it's not like floating, it's like still in the air, as if someone is holding it in the air and flipping the pages.
Yeah.
Angel describes this, and his family believe it's a demonic force.
Because they had priests come. They clearly seem very religious, which is good. And of course, they always send the priests in because it's demonic energy. And they're telling this family that they are fallen angels or demonic energy, but, you know, doing nothing about it. Honestly, I mean, that could be the conspiracy that they hold on to, but I don't feel that to be the case.
No, this is, as we know, aliens are vastly more advanced than we could ever dream to be.
Absolutely.
They have powers that we can unlock in our own beings, but a lot of people cannot because we are sheltered. They are way more open. So they can do telekinesis. They can do telepathy. They also can astro project. All things that we as humans are able to do, but they do it so easily and they do it all the time.
Yeah.
I truly feel like it was one of them just astral projecting back. And because they know this family is very religious, they, you know, again, they're interested in religion. And so they're like, we need to look at this Bible again. There's something in here. Either A, they were looking for, or B, what I feel like is they were warning them. That's what I feel like.
I'm going to go the complete opposite direction on this entirely. So I do believe that the ETs, non-humans, can genuinely pick up a controller and control things on the other side. Like, no problem doing so. And I do believe in that, but something is telling me that the military was like, you need to drop this. We need to make it sound like it was something completely different. And I don't believe the part of the Bible flipping pages. I believe in those things. Let's just clarify that. But something to me just doesn't feel right. And I feel like at that point, Angel was just kind of like over the story, sharing these details. I mean, it could have happened, but I don't know. I feel like we're just trying to hide what really happened and focus more on not entities, non-human things. We'd rather say it's ghosts.
I truly believe that they astral projected back, and I'll tell you why. Because I've seen videos of them having a tall gray, and they mention, this tall gray mentions that the end of civilization will be religion for the human race. And that is something that is being heavily pushed right now in the United States, more than it's ever been. Lots of schools and states have now said that there's got to be a Bible in every kid's hand in schools, and they're making that mandate coming this new school year.
Meanwhile, we have multi-million different types of
religions. Right. So this specific religion is going to be the end of civilization, the human race. I feel like the aliens have helped us in the past, and they're trying to do it again. Like, you got to let go. Like, you can believe in whatever you want to believe in religious wise, but don't get so lost in it, because there's more than just that out there. More than just religion. There's things that religion does not explain, like the phenomenon of UFOs and stuff like that.
Well, I don't disagree with you on any of that. That is also very possible. I just keep getting this heavy feeling that the military,
I feel like it was something else. There was like
have pushed this agenda saying we do not talk about this anymore.
Right. I agree to that. I agree that the military is telling them not to talk about it. I agree that there was something there. And I feel like obviously all of this is a cover up. They're trying to cover something up. I feel like it was a bigger thing, obviously, what we're being told. And they are trying to blame it on demonic stuff, but it is the aliens. They're doing something, and there might be a portal there.
Well, here's the one last piece that I want to bring up here as well, is that Angel specifically, and his brother, honestly, I feel like they were being approached again to create the superhuman, non-human army.
The hybrid.
Right. The breeding thing. And I feel like they were trying to get them to do so. But because they started pulling out phones and, had been calling 911 and this and that and the other, like they were being alerted, right? So they couldn't approach them about this. So that's the other piece that I felt as well.
Right, because if you look at Angel and his stance, he would be a good candidate.
Absolutely.
We don't know what his brother...
Strong, young boy.
Right, a strong young boy, good complexion, good eyes, and clearly a good heart.
Yep.
And so they obviously thought, because again, tall grays are all about experiments, and they want to make that superhuman race to save their race.
The diamond in the rough.
Yep, they're trying to find him, just a quiet boy that nobody would know was missing, but clearly, like you said, called the police.
Right. It's
called
not
his
like,
dad.
It's not like Angel was out there partying and doing coke or something. Like he was fully in a backyard in his hometown helping his brother work on a car. Like he was doing good things. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't out there doing some shit.
Right. And maybe if they were like in a cornfield somewhere, they might have been able to get him to agree or come. But because it was in a backyard, they vastly underestimated Angel and his family and this backyard because it was not a cornfield. And the parents were close by and told him to go in the house.
Exactly. And I know that Angel thinks that moving out of the house will solve the problem for him, but they're going to continue to keep searching until he ages out.
Right. It doesn't matter where you go, but they now have you tracked. So you can move all over the United States. They're going to keep coming to find you. Once they've made contact with you, they're going to keep trying to contact you.
Now, what do you guys think about these audios we just submitted? Let us know in the comments. But that is really everything there is to know about this particular incident. I, for one, am excited to see what happens in 2026. What I'm not excited about is the fact that Nod Dump is basically giving us the fucking Temu version of whatever the hell he thinks is perfect for us to see. I want to see the aliens. I would like pictures, videos, conversations, details, audios, you name it, of UFO alien encounters. And I want a backstage tour of Area 51, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Somebody, some non-military person needs to go in there and let us know what the fuck is going on.
I agree. We need to see real pictures of real aliens, not this crap they're giving us.
Because remember when we were all trying to storm it in 2020 before COVID happened?
Yep.
I'll never forget that. They were hella scared that that was actually going to happen. Maybe perhaps they set up the military side of things a little bit more significantly, but I don't know. Something tells me that there is something so bad there, they're never gonna let us in there, but whatever. Anyways, next episode, we will be covering Ashley St. Clair, aka Elon Musk's ex-girlfriend, and all the beans she be spilling all over the place. It is going to be a very juicy episode. I cannot wait to share. And it is always
us against everything.